time of year, as it embodies hope and promise of a new season. Familiar and fresh faces are on full display, a glimpse into what lies ahead for this season and beyond. For Council's crew and Cubs Nation, the road to the postseason begins next. Cubs Spring Training is presented by Circa Sports Illinois. And welcome to Chicago Cubs baseball here on Marquee Sports Network. From Sloan Park in Mesa, Arizona, Cactus League play kicks off. Cubs and the White Sox. New manager and some new fans out there on the berm. Welcome into the broadcast booth and onto the field. John Sciambi, Jim Deshaies, Taylor McGregor. We're back. That's right. T-Mac, you excited for the start of a new season?
Yeah, and I don't know what I'm more excited about. The fact that you're already in mid-season form with your teases and your tosses and coming down to me, or the baseball that we're going to see on display today. But it's always exciting at the beginning of the year, and hopefully you guys feel the same. Yeah,
we're jammed in here, and this could be fun.
I am brimming with anticipation, Boog. It's been about 150 days since we last broadcast Cubs baseball, so very excited. I know everybody back home, it's just at this time of year, right? You want to turn on the TV, see green grass, sunshine, hear the crack of the bat, and we've got plenty of that coming your way all month long.
All right, so camp got underway with pitchers and catchers starting on Valentine's Day. What so far has stood out to you in camp?
I don't know that anything has necessarily stood out for me in camp, but what I'm excited about is seeing a lot of these young players, and there's a lot of them in the lineup here today. Last year's first-round draft pick Matt Shaw is in the lineup today. Christopher Morel at third base is going to be a big storyline throughout spring training. PCA's out in center, so yeah, it's going to be a fun day.
Taylor McGregor, what stood out to you so far?
Well, I think the expectation of the more veteran players and who of them will step up and take their game to the next level. I'm thinking Seiya Suzuki. We saw him have a really strong second half, and so what work did he do this offseason to potentially hit more than 20 homers this year and really provide the power that the Cubs need in this current lineup? So a lot of excitement when it comes to spring training this year, and I'm excited to see it all start to play out.
Yep, we get it going here this afternoon. Game one, and the lefty Jordan Wicks is on the hill. We'll have lineups and first pitch coming up.
Can't beat it.
Dear Winter.
Back here in Mesa as we get ready for spring training baseball from Sloan Park, the White Sox and the Cubs, and the new manager of the Chicago Cubs, Craig Counsell, saying hi to plate umpire Jim Wolf, Pedro Grifol on the other side, and the fans filing in. It's going to be full out there on the berm. More beautiful weather. John Sciambi, Jim Deshaies, and Taylor McGregor with you. And let's check out the Chicago White Sox lineup, and it's brought to you by Ford. Kevin Pillar up top. Paul DeYoung, the veteran, will take over for Tim Anderson at short likely. Then Andrew Vaughn, Brian Ramos, Tim Elko, Dominic Fletcher, our old friend Rafael Ortega, Martin Maldonado, Nicky Lopez. This is a team that really struggled to score last year. 29th out of 30 teams in runs per game. And how about our starting pitcher?
Hey, it's brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. It's young left-hander Jordan Wicks, who was most impressive in his Major League debut last year. Made 7 starts and pitched very effectively with this pitch mix. Fastball, it sits right around 92 miles an hour. His signature pitch is the changeup. That will generate a lot of weak contact and swings and misses. He also features a cutter, a curveball, and a slider. So 34 2/3 big league innings last year and a 4.41 ERA. Defensively, Cubs are brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We'll start in the past year. Ian Happ, back-to-back Gold Glove winning seasons now for Ian. He is in left. Pete Crow Armstrong, maybe the best defensive center fielder in all the land. Alexander Canario gets right. Morel's at third base. That'll be a story we'll follow all spring. Luis Vazquez can really pick it at short. A couple of mats on the right side. Shaw and Mervis, and Miguel Amaya is behind the plate.
And Jordan Wicks set to start off the spring against the veteran Kevin Pillar. And away we go as the lefty delivers. And first pitch swinging a foul ball, and we are underway at Sloan.
Luke, imagine if I had said if he throws a strike on the first pitch, the Cubs will win the division, but if he doesn't, they won't. The amount of pressure that would have been on Jordan Wicks right there.
That would have been huge.
Yeah.
Well, he threw a strike, JD.
Yeah, he did. He does that. He has very good command.
Works off the inside edge there.
One of those guys who, doesn't light up the radar gun, but he can pitch effectively up in the zone with his four-seam fastball.
He's changed the grip on his slider. It's a pitch he thinks that can be better. And a swing and a miss as Pilar swings through that one. But it's that changeup, right? When you look at the Cubs staff, limiting hard contact is something as a group they did well last year, and I think Wicks falls into that category.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, his strikeout rate was, what, 16%?
Yep.
And again, it's only 34 big league innings, so it's a really small sample. But he doesn't profile as a guy that's going to strike out a bunch of people. But that changeup is so good. He gets a lot of guys out on the front foot, a lot of guys off balance.
The 1-2 off the inside edge, and a count is even up. Wicks, former first-round pick back in 2021. He's only got 193 minor league innings under his belt. And a swing and a miss, the curveball. And a strikeout to begin for Jordan Wicks.
Pilar just swings through it, a high breaking pitch. I don't think that's exactly what Wicks wanted to do with that pitch, but he got away with it.
Opponents average 171 against that change. As Paul DeYoung pushes one foul.
His last start against Milwaukee, I believe it was, he got knocked around pretty good. But other than that, he was really sharp. He carried a 3.00 ERA into that final start of the year.
Yeah, Wicks overall went 34 2/3 innings. His debut in late August. Remember, he gave up the home run to Ke'Bryan Hayes and then settled in 5 innings, 1 run.
And punched out 9, retired 15 in a row at one point.
Craig Counsell, first year as manager. And a swing and a miss. Good pitch there. For Craig Counsell, it's been a fresh start to the spring when you're talking about his last 9 years as the manager of the Brewers, 8 full, and everybody adjusting to him and getting to know the new manager. That's the third, and Morel his first chance. And Christopher handles it flawlessly. Well, that is going to be a story. You touched on it. Christopher Morel at third base. I mean, right away, Craig Counsell, when he was introduced, talked about Christopher Morel has to play. And you start because of the bat. So far, a kid that was signed as a shortstop, you're not sure what his position is.
Yeah, and Rossi always liked him in the middle of the diamond. Rossi liked him in center field, liked him at second base. Morel played a lot of third base in the minor leagues, and I think what Counsell has decided to do is he needs runway down there at third base. He needs to get a lot of reps down there. So it's kind of a fresh start for Christopher with the new manager. Just trying to find a way to get that bat in the lineup on a daily basis. And moving him around, even though he was capable of playing a lot of different positions, you might have ultimately been doing him a little bit of a disservice.
Two balls and a strike on Andrew Vaughn. So mainly used as a DH, as you mentioned, middle of the diamond. And so there it is at second and center mainly. And then some right, some left, some third, and one at short.
Two batters into the game, I've already screwed up my scorebook.
What happened?
I just
in the air. That's well struck center field. PCA back, wanders onto the track and hauls it in, and Wicks gets a 1-2-3. Pete Crow Armstrong with the gorgeous new blue hair. Cubs will come up to hit when we come back. Sloan Park, bottom of the first, and no score. Here come the Cubs. And the Cubs lineup brought to you by Benny's Beverage Depot. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Well, the Cubs last year, third in the NL in runs per game, third and on base. So go Happ, Morel, Amaya. Mervis has started first, Canario, PCA, Luis Vasquez, good defender, Joe Hudson, and Matt Shaw. And that's the group against Jesse Chavez.
Jesse is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. The veteran in camp with the White Sox is a non-roster invitee. White Sox, if he pitches for them this year, it will be the 12th big league club he has worked for. Cutter, fastball, change, and curveball for the veteran right-hander. Was 40 years old.
Started the year, what was it, 3 games in 2002 with the Cubs before moving on.
Yeah, 2 stints with the Cubs, a little bit in 18 and then again in 22.
Ball on a strike, Chavez fires. And he and Happ with that good eye. Happ last year, an on-base percentage of .360. His walk rate was 9th best in the majors. He's always had a really good idea of the strike zone. And a base hit up the middle. Well, that was nice and simple. Ian Happ, a leadoff single, and a good start to the spring for Happer.
He was doing a lot of tee work out here after BP earlier this morning, and just focusing on that right there, just driving the ball through the middle of the diamond. Got to pitch up a little bit. Plays a little pepper with the center fielder.
And now it's Morel, who takes a pitch upstairs and outside for ball 1. Christopher, 26 homers a season ago. That was after he didn't make the team. Remember that? He got sent to AAA. He hit 11 homers before being called up. And so all told last year, between AAA and the majors, he hit 37 home runs.
I remember when he first came up, he just went off.
Yeah, 9 homers in those first 12 games. He's got big time power, and again, adjustments at the plate. When he hits the ball in the air, he's as productive as really any of the best hitters in the game. When he gets behind in the count, he struggles. And he drives this one in the air, left field. Ortega back, and he'll watch it go. A home run for Christopher Morel. And just like that, it is 2-0 right into bleacher Jeff's world. Well, I know there are a lot of guys on this team that believes with enough at bats, Christopher Morel easily could hit 35 homers.
Yeah, count me among them. I mean, the power is real. We saw it all last year. This is just a mistake by Chavez. Thigh high over the middle of the plate. You talked about his, the numbers when he puts it in the air, the slugging percentage off the charts. He is such an explosive athlete.
And you see the celebration in the dugout, all smiles. He's always all smiles. It's one of the things that's so much fun about him. And that one laced into left field, and a base hit for Miguel Amaya. So 3 straight hits to begin for the Cubs.
Again, a pitch that's up a little bit. Chavez, when he first came into the league, he was 93, maybe 94 miles per hour. But as I mentioned, he's 40 years old now, and he doesn't have the giddy up on the fastball. So if he's not locked in with his command, he's going to give up some damage.
So here's Matt Mervis now. Mervis digs in on that left side. JD, I don't know if there's been analysis on this, but if you were to guess,
yes,
if the Cubs get 3 hits, including a homer, in the first 3 plate appearances of every game, how many games do you think they'll win?
104.
I like it. I think you're right. Christopher Morel's got the blonde.
A lot of hands
highlights
to shake down there in spring training. There's like 100 guys in there.
A lot of them. Mervis fouls one off. Matt course, had the monster year in 2022 where he hit 36 home runs. He was the Cubs minor league player of the year.
Yeah, so it was at this point last year when there was all this buzz about Matt Mervis, right? That's all we could talk about. And then he got his opportunity with the Cubs. Got 100 or so plate appearances and really struggled. Went back down to the minor leagues, put up good numbers at Iowa with 22 home runs.
Outside corner, and Jim Wolf rings him up. And Mervis is gone on strikes.
Let's check out the White Sox defensively. It's brought to you by Northwestern Medicine. Rafael Ortega will play left. For the Sox here this afternoon, Dominic Fletcher will likely be the right fielder during the regular season because they have Luis Robert in center. Pilar gets right today. Ramos, DeYoung, Lopez, and Vaughn third to first. And the veteran Martin Maldonado, newly to the White Sox, is behind the plate.
Canario takes a strike, so after the swing and miss and the take, it's quickly 0-2. Today's right fielder, still just 23 years old. Remember, he got off to a delayed start because of that injury he suffered in winter ball. 9 homers last year at 3 different levels. He's got massive power. That same year that Mervis hit 36 homers between a couple of levels, Canario hit 37 between 3 levels. So a lot of promise for this guy who came over in the Chris Bryant trade. Drilled in the air, right field. That one towards the corner. Going back is Pilar, and that's a foul ball. Bill Miller, the crew chief, on the call. Jesse Chavez, the veteran. Right now, the White Sox in the early going, it's basically going to be all relievers today and to begin. And a swing and a miss. They get a much different look, right? With Giolito, Lynn, Clevenger gone. Canario retired for the second out. There's 2 away.
Yeah, they've got plenty of questions to kind of sort through to figure out their pitching situation going forward. Chavez has got over 13 years of major league service. He was originally a 42nd round draft pick back in 2002. You would have to say that he exceeded expectations.
Indeed. Amaya at first, 2 down. Morel with the homer. This one bunted towards third, but foul, and that's something that Craig Counsell has talked about. Remember, at CubsCon, he talked about the bunt, did Craig Counsell. He said, yeah, I'm not a big bunt guy in terms of the sacrifice. He said, look, there are spots where you're going to do it. And then he quickly said, but someone like Pete Crow Armstrong should have that in his bag. And he's been working on it. In fact, the other day in the live BPs, he tried it off Justin Steele. Line drive, base hit, right center field. And Amaya racing for third. And Crow Armstrong dives in with a double. So PCA gets his spring off to a good start. Second and third, Cubs up 2-0.
Must be the blue hair. Looked like an off-speed pitch from Chavez down a little bit. Armstrong, he's a great defender. He has plenty of speed, but he's got pop in that bat. His issues last year, there's a little bit of time at the big leagues. He's swinging through a lot of high fastballs. Hit 20 home runs last year in the minor leagues.
Well, as you guys mentioned, PCA went into the offseason and wanted to work a lot on his offense. He told me he spent about 2 weeks just standing in the box and trying to find his swing again. He said he's very much a feel guy, so wanted to get back to just being athletic. And JD, you mentioned his time in the big leagues last season, he got exposed by that high fastball, and so that was a big priority of him this offseason. Not to be able to hit the ball, he said, I want to be able to manage that pitch. And so a big part of what he did with his swing is being able to manage that pitch and hopefully find more success as the season rolls on. But nice little start for him in spring training.
Vasquez takes outside.
There's two things, right? First, the ability to get on the high fastball, and maybe more importantly, the ability not to swing at the high fastball, because that's a chase pitch.
3-1 outside, and Vasquez will take his base. Well, I talked with Dustin Kelly about Pete Crow Armstrong and what he was looking to change, and Taylor mentioned being more athletic. One of the things is just the setup. So he's a little more spread out, a little more balanced than he was when we saw him at the big league level last year. And it just puts his hands and his body in a better position. Joe Hudson, the designated hitter, takes outside. Hudson, the DH, he's a catcher by trade. Last year was a AAA Gwinnett with the Braves. Two main catchers in camp will be Amaya and Gomes. You have Hudson and Alfaro if they need some help. Snap throw to second, and Crow Armstrong dives back in.
Yeah, Hudson has previous big league time with the Angels, the Cardinals, and the Mariners, sparingly, just a little bit of time spread out over those 3 seasons.
Yeah, 18 games. And he swings and rips one towards the left field corner. That'll touch down, and it'll roll all the way to the wall. Ortega there to dig it out. In to score is Amaya. Crow Armstrong on his heels. It's a 2-run double, and it is all Cubs. Oh, 3 scored. My bad.
Tried spring training for everybody, Boo.
It's a 3-run double.
And this, what, a little cutter? Hudson stays right on it, whacks it into the left field corner. You watch him run. Armstrong could have moonwalked home with his speed, and a little mishandle out there by Ortega and left, too.
JD, I didn't write the walk down by Vasquez.
We spent all offseason not having to walk and talk at the same time. Then you get up here and you.
It's not fair. So just to be clear, that was a 3-run double, and it's 5-0. Matt Shaw now, as he waits on that breaking ball and hammers it into left field. A base hit. Hudson around third. He's into score. Shaw into second. RBI double, and it is 6-0. Well, that's a nice start.
Yeah, it is. Matt Shaw, who was the Cubs' first-round draft pick this past summer. There's been a lot of buzz about this kid. Really strong. He's not really big, but he's very powerful and can really hit. Jesse Chavez has got to be coming up on a pitch count here pretty soon, you would think.
Yes. That has got to feel good for Matt Shaw, especially when you see the Cats pitching coach visits the mound. Matt Shaw last year, you mentioned he's a first-round pick. He started off in rookie ball and then went to A ball, and he finished the year at Double A. I mean, you don't see that happen all that frequently for guys drafted in the same year to get as high as Double A, but he did, and he hit 357. He had 170 plate appearances and had 21 extra base hits. So Matt Shaw, one of the 7 that the Cubs have in the MLB pipeline, top 100. Hey, Ian Happ's hitting again. All Cubs here in the early going. Happ Fouls that one away. Cubs finished second to Craig Counsell's Milwaukee Brewers a season ago, 83-79. There's that stretch where the Cubs, from basically the middle of July to the beginning of September 6th, they went 33-14. They were 12 over 500 and looked to be in great shape for the playoffs.
The only time in Cubs history that a Cub team was at one point 10 games under 500 and then 10 games above 500. They finished 5-12, I believe, over their final 17 games. That disastrous series in Atlanta. That's why we've been looking forward to today. Get that bad taste out of the mouth.
Chavez ready. Jesse, the veteran, kind of wearing it. I mean, you're talking about
first outing of spring training at 40 pitches.
40. Golly.
This is usually what you see happen at mid-season when you got a tapped out bullpen and somebody's just got to stay out there and eat it for you.
Yeah. On the ground to first. And Vaughn handles the chance. That's that. Cubs score 6 times. Get the 2-run homer from Morel. And then Joe Hudson, a 3-run double. It's 6-0.
Hi, I'm Greg. I live in Bloomington, Illinois. I'm not an actor. I'm just
For our Prevagen memorable moment, we go back to September 6th of last season and Jordan Wicks making his debut at Wrigley Field. This offseason was one for Jordan Wicks to kind of take the next step. In this outing, he went 6 2/3 innings, which was the best of his season last year, and he looks to take the next step this year. Craig Counsell made a great point. He said in that brief amount of time, he learned that his stuff will play at the major leagues, and now for him, it's about being able to work through games in their entirety. So there were moments last season when he would get stuck and maybe his changeup wasn't playing through lineups like he expected it would or hoped it would, and so now where do you go with that? Okay, what pitch then do you rely on, and how do you kind of make those in-game adjustments? So Wicks had a good start to his major league career, but they're hoping he can take the next step this season.
Yeah, Craig Counsell mentioning he got some feedback that he can use in terms of the experience at the major league level. So we'll see how it plays out for the lefties in a competition for the 5th spot in the starting rotation. He delivers inside here to Brian Ramos. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, I would say he has the inside track for that 5th spot in the rotation. Not a lock.
High fly ball right center field. Canario and Pete Crow Armstrong. Canario makes the grab. Yeah, so it'll be Wicks competing with the likes of Smiley, Wisniewski, Assad. Of those 4, Wicks is the one guy I believe that Tommy Hotovy and company think he's only a starter. The rest of those guys, if they don't win the job, so if Wicks doesn't win the job, he's going to AAA. But the rest of those guys still will have a chance to
work out of the bullpen, yeah.
The team as a reliever. Tim Elko here. Elko acting as the DH. Good year last year at A, high A, and double A, hit 28 combined homers. Former 10th round pick out of Ole Miss. Wicks ready at 2-1. That changeup misses.
Yeah, he didn't finish that one, just fell off it a little bit, flew open. Throw another one right here.
Tipped into the mid of Amaya. White Sox, you mentioned, struggled to score last year. And one of the main issues, they hit the ball on the ground a ton. Only the Marlins had a higher ground ball rate offensively. It's hard to slug on the ground.
No slug on the ground,
no.
No. Got to hit it over people's heads.
One out, bases empty. The Cubs scoring 6 times in the bottom of the first, sending 10 to the plate. That's pretty well struck right field. Canario back some more, looking up, and that is gone. Big Tim Elko drives one the other way, and it gets out, and the White Sox are on the board. It is 6-1.
Big fella, 6'4", 250.
Yeah, he got a hold of that one, no doubt.
And the ball really jumps here in Arizona, but that ball was crushed. And saw Jordan shake a couple of times. Ultimately tried the fastball. He wanted to get it in on his hands and wasn't able to execute the pitch. Just a nice smooth pass at it there by the big fella.
Here's Dominic Fletcher. White Sox getting on the board thanks to the home run from Elko. 6-1 Cubs. Check swing. He went too far, says Jim Wolf. I believe that's Alex Tosi down there. Pitch outside. Fletcher, who was acquired from the Diamondbacks, second round pick 2019. And the White Sox traded for him earlier this month. He laces a single into right field.
And so we're talking about the fifth spot in the Cubs rotation. Here are the candidates and what they did last year. And you see Smiley, Assad, Wisniewski, all, fair amount of work out of the bullpen, and that flexibility among those three kind of plays to Wick's advantage in terms of trying to claim this fifth spot in the rotation, because Smiley, Assad, and Wisniewski, all three of them did a pretty nice job out of the bullpen, had their struggles. Certainly Smiley and Hayden as starters.
And here is Rafael Ortega, who fouls one off.
So a lot of times it's not just who goes out there and wins the job. But as Craig Counsell and Tommy Hotovy kind of assess their entire pitching staff. Well, this guy, he pitched better in spring training, and maybe he would do fine as a starter. But we like the flexibility he gives us. We like that, that the Wisniewski sweeper coming out of the bullpen, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, there's a very big picture mindset. That's something that Craig Counsell demonstrated in Milwaukee. Is just the macro look at things. You're going to have to cover about 1,440 innings, and there are guys that Craig knows definitely are not going to make the team, and that they are hoping, close to counting on, pitching innings for them this year. You know what I mean? Because you're going to need depth. On the ground to first, nice pick by Mervis. Throw back to first, and off the base was Wicks. Good hands there by Matt Mervis. And a good job by Vasquez to wait and not throw it away.
A little in between hop there from Mervis. Vasquez throwing to the moving target. Wicks was a little bit late getting over there, but I don't think they would have gotten Ortega. Anyhow.
There's Martin Maldonado now. Maldonado spent the last 4 seasons with the Astros, 4+ seasons. Had a bit of time with the Cubs back in 19. He's a good example, though, right? Where whether you're going to use advanced metrics or just this guy makes the pitchers feel secure. He has spent the last 3 years getting over 1,200 plate appearances, and over that time hit 183.
I was just going to say that that graphic we had up there, what, a buck 71 or buck 91 last year, 117 games played. And normally that doesn't. You're not going to play the guy that often when he's hitting less than 200, but they really value the Astro pitchers raved about it.
Yep. A lot of trust. The 1-2. He's won a Gold Glove. And now 37 years young. We're taking first. And a little tapper back to the mound. Wicks has it go under his glove. Maldonado not exactly sprinting down to first, but Wicks bobbled it after he missed it the first time, and an error on the pitcher extends the inning.
Yeah, with Maldonado running at all kinds of time here, did not need to be in a hurry. He just whiffed on it and then couldn't get the handle. Had he gotten the handle, the way Maldonado was trotting down the line, he might have had a shot at him.
Craig Counsell out of the dugout, takes the baseball from Jordan Wicks, and his spring debut has come to a close. Pitching change brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. Cub fans, sign up now for the Marquee Sports Network app and receive up to 30 free days of spring training baseball. And you can do that by using the promo code SPRINGTRAINING24 at watchmarquee.com. Sign up now for free Cubs baseball. Pretty good deal right there. New pitcher into the game, JD.
It is a Hunter Biggie, right-hander, who was the Cubs' 12th round pick in 2019 out of Harvard University. Fine educational establishment back east.
Come on, Nicky. 0 for 1 on
What's going on?
Pitch
We're
com.
having some pitch com issues.
See, Morel gave up his
saying
team player.
Yeah.
Normally a third baseman doesn't wear that pitch comm device anyway. I don't have one. We didn't have one, period.
Well, that's going to make it difficult with Amaya pushing the buttons, right?
Yeah, Harvard or not.
Harvard or
not
not.
going to figure that out. Yeah.
I don't care how smart you are. You are not going to be able to figure out pitch comm without one of the devices in your hat. Yeah, so Morel was wearing it. So normally, so you figure Vasquez and Shaw. And then PCA, runner takes off for third, and that's in for a strike.
Hunter Biggie last year reached AAA for the first time in his career, split time between AA and AAA. Posted these numbers, 54 innings and a 4.50 ERA.
Nicky Lopez takes that one off the plate.
Ooh, 97 on that one, Boog.
And a 2-2. Oh, boy. Be careful over there, everybody.
The old ugly finder. And, you know, as many people as there are in the dugout, it's going to hit somebody if it goes in.
Lopez able to spoil that one. Nicky Lopez and Paul DeYoung right now appear to be their double play combo to start the season. Lopez, good defender, whether it's second or short. The dugout is on alert. Breaking ball misses upstairs.
It's a homecoming for Lopez, right? He's from Naperville.
Outside corner, and Lopez gone on strikes. Biggie rings them up. Gorgeous day here in Mason. The news is good early from Sloan. The most memorable moment of the year. Late stages, middle of August last year. Christopher Morel to right center and gone. Walk it off. And that gorgeous look from the drone. Christopher Morel undressing as he sprinted around the bases. And Wrigley Field was absolutely electric as the Cubs won it on Morel's homer. He has homered in his first at bat of the spring. Still just 24 years old, doesn't turn 25 until June 24th. He's got some energy. New pitcher will be the White Sox Joe Barlow.
He won a World Series ring last year. Pitched 13 times for the Texas Rangers. 9 2/3, 4.66, but that'll get you jewelry.
Harang. 2-0 now. It's softly on the ground to third. Ramos on the move.
Home Run Replay is brought to you by Toyota, the official vehicle of the Chicago Cubs. Christopher Morel, first at bat of the spring season, and he unloads way up on the berm. Jesse Chavez.
Here's Miguel Amaya, a single his first time as he waves at that offering from Barlow. JD, you're a big hat guy. Do you have a fashion thought on the White Sox going gray hats?
I do not. Give me some time and I'll come up with a thought.
Okay. Amaya fouling that one into the mitt of Maldonado. T-Mac, you're always on the fashion patrol. What do you think?
Okay, from my angle, the shades of gray seem different on the hats than they are in the pants, and I don't like it.
Okay. Harry, see, that's the breakdown you didn't know you needed. Amaya retired. So a different type of gray.
50 shades of gray on the White Sox uni.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm fine with them.
I feel like when you're going light colored hats, it's like the ice cream man, right? White hat.
Spring training, though.
Okay. I like it when you bring your surly. Mervis rips one foul. Matt Mervis a strikeout, looking his first time. We mentioned debuted May 5th, hit 167, 3 homers, 99 major league plate appearances, struck out in a third of them. Working on swing direction a little bit more, swing, a tendency to kind of get around the ball a little bit more, and so Dustin Kelly working on just that path being a little more true, a little more up the middle.
I read a report on him last year. And I can't remember where I saw it, but it talked about that he struggled with velocity away, had a tendency to pull off of it a little bit, get out around it, as you said. The other piece of it too, it's really hard to come to the big leagues, find success right away, just settle in, and away you go. Most guys, it's an up and down ride. You get up, you struggle a little bit, go back to the minor leagues. You take the information you learn from your time in the big leagues, you apply it there, and hopefully you're ready to the next opportunity you get.
Oh, follow through, and Mervis got a piece of Maldonado with the bat. Yeah, it's something that Craig Counsell's been emphasizing. Take one quick look at this in terms of ow. So Maldonado's okay, but just whether it's Pete Crow Armstrong or Matt Mervis, Craig Counsell pointing out this is normal. Like, that's normally what happens. Guys tear it up in the minors, come up and have a hard time and have to figure out in another space, okay, so how do we get better?
And I think in the case of Matt Mervis, playing for the Cubs, there's a certain buzz around the Cubs, and there was a lot of buzz around him when he first came up. And starts slowly, start to press. Gets in your head a little bit, and it goes from bad to worse. And at some point, and I don't know that Matt would say this, I know I've talked to a lot of minor league players, bubble players, guys bouncing up and down over the years. Sometimes it's a relief to get sent to the minor leagues because you just can't figure it out at the big league level.
3-2. And that one inside, and Mervis will take his base. So a 2-out walk and a man aboard, and it'll bring up Alexander Canario. Canario, a strikeout victim his first time. He struck out swinging back in the first. Cubs scored 6 times in the first, including a 2-run homer from Morel. Joe Hudson with a 3-run double. Canario starting in right. There are a lot of different outcomes in terms of what the shape of the outfield will look like, but I mean, one could be a platoon with Tauchman and Canario in center if PCA does not make the team. Bounced up the middle behind second. Lopez gets it to DeYoung, and that's the inning. We played 2 here in Mesa, and the Cubs lead at 6-1.
For the third, Cub fans, single game tickets are on sale. Don't miss a second of the action, the matchups, and the magic. You have to see it. Visit Cubs.com/tickets.
Those are single ticket games. Caleb Killian on the hill. So the lanky right-hander will take over. First offering to Pilar. And a fastball for a strike in the outside corner. What a 96 from Caleb Killian.
Yeah, you can make a lot of money if you do that. Routinely 96. Knee high, just off the outside edge. Right on the corner.
97 with that one. Killian, he and Canario came over in the Chris Bryant trade. He was kind of the guy the last couple of years pitching wise that people were focused on, breaking ball upstairs. He made his debut in 22 against the Cardinals. One thing he's done this offseason is really worked on cleaning up mechanics, just trying to be a little sharper, a little more neutral. The 1-2 is cut on and missed. He overpowered him. That one at 98.
Just sees that fastball up high, has a tendency to get aggressive. Usually doesn't work out too well for him.
By the way, bottom of the inning, and Craig Counsell, the manager of the Cubs, will join us on headset. On the ground to the right side, Shaw handles the chance, and DeYoung retired.
Seems to be an important spring for Caleb Killian, doesn't it?
Yes.
Debut in 2022 did not go well. Went back down to the minor leagues that year, and at Iowa he struggled with his command. Last year spent almost the entire season at AAA, was 8-3 with a 4.56 ERA, 120 innings. We saw him a little bit in Chicago. Still hasn't really had a lengthy look at the big league level.
Yeah, 16 2/3 between 22 and 23. But I mean, this was the guy in 22 that was considered probably the best pitching prospect in the organization, or at least the top 3. I mean, you keep looking at the radar gun and seeing 96, 97, 98. You're certainly going to like that. Pitched his college ball at Texas Tech. You ever been to Lubbock?
I've not been to Lubbock. I know you've been there quite a bit.
Absolutely. Chop to the left side. Morrell gloves and throws out Vaughn. Nice work, Caleb Killian. 1, 2, 3 go the White Sox. Craig Counsell will join us coming up.
I drove 4.
Could not be more excited for this ownership group and this front office to partner with Craig to bring another championship to Chicago and to these great fans. So with that, I just want to announce Craig Counsell as the 56th manager in Cubs history. All right, congratulations.
Yeah, Craig Counsell, 56th manager in the history of the Chicago Cubs, and the Cubs off to a nice start for number 30 so far. It's a 6-1 Cubs lead, and we go downstairs to the dugout and say welcome to the new manager of the Cubs. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. This is a beautiful day, and nice to send 10 guys to the plate in the bottom of the first game.
No arguments from the manager.
What's today like for you? Is it weird? Is it different? I mean, you were in another dugout with another team for 9 years, 8 full seasons. What's this like?
It's fun. I took the walk over from the Performance Center through the fans and stuff today, so that was totally different and a lot of fun. And a huge crowd on day one, so you know you're in a different place, no question about it.
So I know it's an exhibition game and all, but when you brought the lineup card out to exchange the lineup cards with the umpires, any extra nerves or excitement?
Bill Miller told a bad joke. The umpire told a bad joke, so life is pretty normal right now.
Normal, yeah.
That's a normal way we start out a game with Bill Miller umpire, and so I felt right at home.
It's good of him to make you feel comfortable. Looks like we got another pitch com situation here.
Oh boy. Pete Crow Armstrong at the plate. That's one place we can start. Young, talented guy. You know, it's funny. You're getting older and you're managing younger guys. You basically have a son that's just a little bit younger than Pete Crow Armstrong.
I do, and we came down here around the holidays and worked out a little bit, and Pete was in the facility every day, and so they got to work out together. And I think it made Pete feel good that you know, had kids his age and maybe can relate and understand that, and got a little connection with Pete going. But that's the biggest thing you have to remember with Pete Crow Armstrong. He's a young man. I think he's supposed to be a college senior right now, and he's already got big league service time. That just puts it in perspective a little bit. There's a whole world of baseball out there that he's skipped. There's levels that he skipped, and to be here already and means that he's got a lot of room to still get better.
In the air, left field Ortega pulls that down, and that is out number one. What'd you think of Caleb Killian?
Well, I think right away we saw the fastball velocity, and I know Caleb has come into camp feeling really, really good and in a really good place. And you know, right away you see that's a special arm. And I think one thing about this system right now, the player development system, is there are a lot of arms that are very, very interesting. And of course experience, of course room to improve. But it's our job to help him get to that place. And Caleb, that's a great first inning to start your spring.
Craig, you've said that you want to see Christopher Morel get a long look down at third base. What do you need to see from him this spring to convince you that he can be your everyday guy out there?
Well, I think as much as anything, I just want to get Chris some consistency here with his work. And I don't know if you get an answer at the end of spring training. I don't know if we have to make we don't have to make a decision that lasts for the whole season, but trying to just spend time there at one spot to give him some confidence, I think, is important for him. And then, you know, when we get to opening day, we kind of see where progress that he's made, where he's at, and that kind of guides us into decision making, and knowing that still throughout the season he can continue to improve. It's hard to play multiple positions and be good at it, right? So we're at least this spring we'll give Christopher a shot at one spot and see where that takes us.
We appreciate you checking in with us. Happy opening day of spring training, and enjoy the rest of the one.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Craig Counsell, skipper in his first game and first year with the Cubs. Alex Spias has taken over on the mound and gets a strikeout there of Luis Vasquez. Craig Counsell, 53 years old, 16 years he played the bigs. One with the Marlins in '97, Diamondbacks in '01. Last 9 years as the Brewers manager, 5 times took them to the playoffs. And one of the things that's sort of interesting when you look at his ability to navigate in the late stages of games, utilizing a bullpen, etc. He has this really good one-run record. And look, one-run records are usually thought to be fairly random, but he's a guy that year in and year out, his teams always put up a really good record in one-run games. In fact, you go 300 games all time, and he has the third best one-run managerial record. And I think he's been invigorated by just kind of change of place. Yeah, there's what we were talking about. Earl Weaver, Frank Chance, top 2 best winning percentages all time. But getting a chance to meet a lot of new people, learn guys' names. That was one of the jokes he talked about him. You know what that's like. It's first day at school. You're
still trying to sort out guys, right?
And it's hard because everybody knows who you are. So everybody knows the manager's name. Everybody knows what you look like, who you are, and you're just trying to remember.
I would make guys wear name tags.
Would you?
Yeah. Hi, my name is.
Hi, my name is. Now, would yours say JD or would it say Jim?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
JD, I guess.
Yeah. I'd make Taylor wear that picture that we put up whenever she does a hit. The picture of that person.
That doesn't even look like me.
It is so good.
I definitely need a new
Reporting
one. That
Taylor
does not
McGregor.
look like
Oh
me.
my, that is. So, let me tell you something. You'd make a fortune. You get 8x10 glossies of those of that girl right there, and start signing them. You'd make a killing.
Here's this person. We're not sure who she is.
Matt Shaw, who singled, or I should say doubled, and knocked in a run his first time.
Yeah, so you figure Shaw's, going to come quickly. Outstanding college career in Maryland, first-round draft pick, reaches AA his first professional season. That's the profile of a guy that's got plate discipline.
Hard hit to third. Nice job by Ramos to pick that one. And a good job at first on the stretch by Vaughn. Shaw hit it hard, but the White Sox defense does the job. End of 3, 6-1.
Rest easy knowing your savings are secure.
In Mesa, Sloan Park, Cubs lead at 6-1. Welcome to the Budweiser broadcast booth. This Bud's for you. John Shambi, Jim DeShays, it's us. Taylor McGregor as well. Not pictured.
Good to have the band back together.
Yeah, it is.
The boys down in the truck.
Got it all happening.
Everybody's here. Got action. Had a Chicago Smoky for lunch today from the vendor down there. First day of baseball season.
How was it?
It's good.
Yeah. Pretty close to a full house here at Sloan. Packed out on the berm. Gorgeous day. The weather's been spectacular out here. Caleb Killian gets back to work. And that one down and away. It'll be Ramos, then Elko, and then Fletcher. Brian Ramos made a nice play to take a hit away from Matt Shaw. And he takes outside. Ramos, just 21 years old, native of Cuba. Was between A and AA last year. Killian fires.
And depending on what your source is, he's either the second or third top prospect in their organization and does a nice job laying off that pitch. That's a good offering there from Killian.
Lifted foul and out of play, and they'll do it again. Chop to short. Vasquez collects and throws him out.
Cub fans, it all starts April 1st at Wrigley Field, and you have to see it to believe it. Get your tickets to the Cubs home opener now. Visit Cubs.com/tickets.
Single game tickets.
Single ticket games. Cubs will open the season March 28th in Arlington against the Rangers, the defending World Series champion Rangers.
I was there. Tim Elko has homered. Have you been to the Globe Life?
I have not. What's your impression?
From a plane, it looks like a giant barbecue grill.
Fitting.
No.
In a good way, or just a general way?
Just in a general way. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. We're very far away.
Oh, the broadcast position is?
Correct. Strikeout for Killian. He's set down 5 straight.
You know, that's the thing. We showed you that graphic of the potential 5th starters, right? Is it possible that Caleb Killian comes in here and just lights it up this spring and, you know, does something that it makes everybody go, wow, he's figured it out, and all of a sudden he becomes that guy? That's possible.
Yep. Killian looking sharp so far. Nothing in 1 as he gets ahead of Dominic Fletcher. Fletcher a single his first time. I mean, if you were building a pitcher's body, it would kind of be this guy, right? Breaking ball lifted in the air out towards left center. PCA coming on and makes the catch. Caleb Killian, razor sharp, 6.
Well, nice advantage for the Cubs early, 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Ian Happ steps into the batter's box. New year, new guy for Ian Happ. He was married this offseason, so congratulations to him and his new wife, Julie, and some other guys as well. Jameson marrying his longtime girlfriend, Claire, and then Justin and Libby there on the left. So exciting times for all 3 of these couples, and congratulations to all of them.
Indeed. Congrats, Mr. and Mrs. Ian Happ, and the steals and the tie-owns. Ian a single and a ground out, and facing a new pitcher. It'll be Nick Padilla on the mound for the White Sox. Happ fouls that one off.
He had a little cup of coffee with the White Sox last year. Spent the bulk of the year at AAA, where he posted a 5.52 ERA.
He's a New York City kid. Went to Cardinal Spellman. On the ground to first. Vaughn is there. And Happ is out. 1 up, 1 down.
He has spent a little time in the Cubs organization. Including an inning and 2/3 in 2022. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, man.
No memory of that. Sorry, Nick.
I stink. Here's Morel now, a 2-run homer and a ground out. Robbed of a hit his last time up by this guy. And Ramos handles the chance.
Cub fans, sign up now for the Marquee Sports Network app and receive up to 30 days of spring training baseball free. Let me rephrase that. 30 free days. That's the headline, folks, of spring training baseball by using the promo code SPRINGTRAINING24 at watchmarquee.com. Sign up now for free Cubs baseball.
So again, you sign up right now for the Marquee Sports Network app, and you get 30 free days of spring training. The promo code is spring training, and then number 2, number 4. And you do that at watchmarquee.com. There you have it.
Free is the headline.
Free. Watch Marquee for free. Sounds like a promo to me. Here's Amaya, and hits that on the ground. Ramos has been busy over there. Handles the chance. We're headed to the 5th, and the Cubs with the lead.
The world's largest sports book in Las Vegas is now right at your fingertips here in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited about launching our Circus Sports app in Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high betting limits, tight money line splits, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Start betting like a pro from anywhere in Illinois.
Baseball on Marquee Sports Network is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Through it all. By Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer today. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Pretty filled up out there on the berm on a gorgeous afternoon. Spring training underway, and the Cubs lead the White Sox 6-1. All 6 runs in that first inning. Cubs sent 10 to the plate. 2-run homer from Christopher Morel, a 3-run double from Joe Hudson, and Richard Lovelady will take over.
Yeah, Richard signed a minor league deal with the Cubs back on January 31st. Those numbers you see there, he posted last year with the Oakland Athletics. Also big league time with the Royals.
"28 years old. Went to Kennesaw State. And all of his big league appearances have been as a reliever.
Been a pretty good ground ball pitcher throughout his minor league career. Lifetime ERA as a minor leaguer of 2.24. Getting Ben Zobrist vibes.
Yeah, a little bit. Three balls, 2 strikes on Rafael Ortega, the former Cub. One of the Cubs in 21 and 22. That 21 season was impressive. And that one is foul tipped into the mid of Amaya. And Lovelady with a good start and a strikeout. Hey, let's send it downstairs. Taylor McGregor with Ian Happ.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. We were just showing pictures of your wedding. It was an exciting offseason for you. What was the best part?
I mean, getting married was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, the wedding was amazing. Honeymoon was awesome. It was a great off-season, a lot going on. Made it go pretty quick.
Entering spring training, I would assume it's a little different every single year. How would you describe the feeling stepping into this year's?
Yeah, it's different every year. You know, we have counts this year. We got some new members to the staff, so I think that's the biggest change, getting to know them. You know, we got a lot of guys come back, same team, same group. Trying to get these young guys going. We got a bunch of really talented guys who are going to be with us in camp, so trying to impart as much on them as we can.
From your perspective, if this team is able to push through and make the postseason this year, what do you think it'll be a credit to?
You never know. I think when you go into the season, you don't know exactly what it's going to look like. I think that's the fun part of this game. We're definitely going to need contributions from a bunch of different guys. We're going to need all the guys that were there last year to keep doing what we did, take a step forward, and we're going to need a bunch of new faces, a bunch of the young guys to help out. And that's the beautiful thing about this game is you never know who it's going to be in August and September.
Yeah, well, maybe spring training you'll get a little glimpse of who this guys could be. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Boog?
All right, Ian Happ as Lovelady gets his outing off to a good start. Couple of punch outs. Maldonado is gone. By the way, Brendan Davis into the game, taking over for Ian Happ in left field. So 2 away here in the top half of the 5th, and Nicky Lopez stands in. And Lovelady misses for ball 1. John Shelby, Jim DeShays, Taylor McGregor here on Marquee Sports Network. And you can catch us, by the way. You can sign up for the Marquee Sports Network app and receive up to 30 free days of spring training baseball. Line is center. PCA is there and handles the chance. Lovelady gets a 1-2-3 midway in the 5th. 6-1.
This copyrighted telecast is
back here in Mesa, Sloan Park, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. Cubs leading the White Sox 6-1, and welcome into the broadcast booth. And we say hello to the general manager of the Cubs, Carter Hawkins. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're good. And obviously, when you send 10 to the plate in the first inning of the first spring game, that's
pretty fun. Let's make that a tradition.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Hey, don't peak too early.
Yeah, I know. It's always better than the alternative, though, JD.
Indeed.
What's this camp been like for you so far? New manager, a lot of the same faces, but obviously the focus is well on some of the kids.
Yeah, it's been nice from a standpoint of there's a freshness to it with the new manager and some of the new faces and guys kind of establishing themselves in the major leagues. It's also been a little bit slower, just not having to worry about signing a bunch of guys like the lockout 2 years ago or the end of the lockout, or last year, my first real spring training with the club. So kind of finally know where to go, which is nice.
Matt Mervis up here at the plate. Let's start with him, a guy who had a monster season in 22 and then got his opportunity in early May of last year. Didn't go the way he hoped. Where does he stand right now as you guys went and made the trade for Michael Busch?
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge for Matt, obviously, with Busch coming in, and our expectation is that Michael's going to be our first baseman after camp is over. Things can change. Matt certainly has the opportunity to earn a spot on this club, and will. He's still young in his career, and there's time for him to overcome some of the challenges that we've created for him.
Mervis breaking his bat, and Caleb Killian looking sharp in his first outing. It's funny how it works, right? But a couple years ago, so much of the focus was on Brennan Davis and Caleb Killian, and now it's on Pete Crow Armstrong and Alcantara, Shaw, Cade Horton, etc.
Exactly. It's a good lesson that you never know, right? You never know who's going to be the guy that sticks. You never know when the guy's going to actually peak. The JD's point in terms of peaking, but at the end of the day, this is a long period of time where these guys have a chance to contribute to a major league club. Just because it didn't work for Matt Mervis in 2023 doesn't mean it's not going to work for him in 2024 or so on. And Caleb Killian shows today, there's still a lot of ability for him to get major league hitters out, and pretty excited to see the stuff come out of his hand today.
All right, so JD, I'm going to let you get a question in, but first, here's how I'm going to do this. Since there's nobody out, Carter Hawkins joining us in the booth. When do you want me to ask you the Cody Bellinger question, and how do you want me to ask you the Cody Bellinger question?
Let's say with 2 outs.
Okay.
I think would be good, just to give us a little bit of a buffer, and just hit me straight.
Okay,
you know,
absolutely.
We don't have to walk around it.
We'll circle back. JD, go ahead with
that
your
was my question. You just took it, man. I don't know. You stole my thunder.
You're a good sport.
Hey, it's been all off season, and it's fine. He's a great player.
Do you get asked every day?
Either me or Jed by someone, or someone yells. You know, people don't really know who I am too much, so I don't get yelled at as much around here. That's okay. It's fine. I'm actually quite all right with the lack of the lack of visibility. But yes, one of us gets yelled at some point each day, in a positive way. Yep.
So I'll change the topic for you. Last year at this time, I'm not sure that we or a lot of people who follow the Cubs had any idea what Mark Leiter Jr. was all about, or Julian Merriweather, and they turned out to be very valuable pieces in the Cubs bullpen. Are there a couple guys that maybe you're below the radar coming into this camp that you see stepping up in a way like that?
Well, Canario on the offensive side, great timing, but yeah, I mean, it's wild as you look at just the health of arms in camp, and not from a physical standpoint as much as just like, holy cow, there's all these guys throwing above 95 with dirty splits or dirty sinkers or dirty sliders. You know, some guys like Daniel Palencia or Luke Little are two that come to mind for me that, you know, we got a taste of them last year, but got some really good stuff. Palencia added a splitter this offseason that we're excited to see him debut in camp. They're actually calling it a splinker right now. Which is, yeah, that was new for me. So we ran out.
I get grief for the whole sweeper thing, so I'm on board.
We're going crazy.
I'm in.
We're going
Sweepers,
crazy.
splinkers,
the splinker,
gyro ball.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Got him with the splinker. And what about this guy? How do you sum up if you were to ask? If you're asked Pete Crow Armstrong and his chances to make this team or where he stands, how does it set up?
It's a really good question. I mean, Pete is going to be a part of the Cubs for a long time, or at least that's our expectation, and that's his expectation. He's going to help us win a lot of baseball games, whether it's in April, May, June, or July. I don't know. It might be all of those. You can see already that there's been some adjustments to his swing. He's a little bit stiffer. He's a little more upright and attacking the ball a little bit more efficiently, and that's exciting. You know, his ability to stick with those adjustments throughout camp is going to be a big thing. We've seen the defense. That's really good. The decision making on the base paths is going to be something that really allows him to tap into some of that speed that he has. But long and short of it is he's competing for a job on the team. We expect he's going to help us this year. He's got us just as good of a chance as you know, any of these guys right on the verge, but by no means is anything set in stone for him.
PCA 1 for 2 with a double earlier in the game. What do you think about his blue hair?
I told him, I said, so Pete works really, really hard. He listens really, really well. He cares a ton. I said, Pete, you might be the most well thought of blue-haired kid in any camp in baseball right now. I was like, I mean that in the best possible sense, but it looks awful.
Usually when you think blue hair, you think old ladies, not 21-year-old phenom baseball players.
So he looks awful, but like he's doing the right things off the field, and that's all we really care about. If he's happy, I'm happy.
Pre-game, I got a chance to ask Ian Happ. I said, well, what do you got for me on this guy? What advice would you give him? And he said, you know, first of all, enjoy it. You're in Major League camp. Make sure you're enjoying this. I said, what do you like? What do you think about his hair? He said, I think it's terrible. I'm not sure what he's doing there. And then he proceeded to kind of take him aside, and they went and watched video together. And Pete's told me that in the offseason, Dansby Swanson checks in with him, says, send me video of your swing, and how encouraging the veterans have been towards him. That's a nice thing right there. Ground ball to the right side. Vasquez rolls out to Remillard.
He absolutely has earned the respect, you know, of the guys on our club. Now he's got to hit, right? Like that's the thing. He's got to help us win. We expect him to do that. But in terms of how he goes about it, he's earned the respect. In terms of how he looks with his hair, not very much. But outside of that, he's been outstanding.
Joe Hudson here. Hudson, the designated hitter. He's a catcher by trade. He had a 3-run double in the first. Pops this one up. So you got Amaya and Gomes, and then sort of Hudson and Alfaro the next couple.
Yeah, those are 2 non-roster invites that are competing for ostensibly that 3rd job, but you also got guys like Bryce Wyndham or Pablo Aliendo that are in camp that are certainly guys that we would be considering also if we ever had a need. But our hope is we break camp with Gomer and Miguel and take that through the year.
It's your experience in the game, current role in the game. When you watch these spring training games and people come jogging out of other teams' bullpens, I have no clue. Do you know? What percentage of the players in the game do you have working knowledge of?
Oh, less than 30, I would imagine.
Yeah,
if you're talking about like all minor league players, that's a great part about having really good systems, really good information. This is kind of the boring stuff, but I don't need to know all those things because I can ingest it really, really quickly, right? So it's going into our system. We call it Ivy, which is also my daughter's name.
Yeah, it is.
Is also on the wall at our field. There you go. A lot of synergy there. But we're able to come in and get the salient information really, really quickly. So if we needed to make a decision about a player from another team, it doesn't take long.
Maybe the 3rd piece of a trade. You've never heard of this guy, but you can pull something up and gives you.
Exactly. All of the scouting reports, all of the statistics, all of the analytical information. It's all there right at your fingertips.
The ground at 3rd, backhanded nicely. Ramos lost his footing. It's safe at first is Hudson. And how about that? Not only Canario, but also PCA in, and the Cubs adding on. It is 8-1. Have a day, Joe Hudson. He's knocked in 5. Blue hair is not slowing him down. Watch him coming around from 2nd on this.
Did he score before Hudson got to 1st?
Push.
Legitimate question.
He's one of the faster guys of the team. There's obviously pop in the defense, but when he can run, he's got some serious skills. So Joe Hudson is knocked in 5, and now Matt Shaw up here.
Just watching Pete run the bases there. Is Lenny Dykstra a fair comp?
Hopefully on the field only.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, in terms, and I didn't play with Lenny, obviously, like you probably did, and got to play against more. But in terms of just like always on the go, being willing to get dirty, just playing every play to 100% effort.
And some pop, too,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. My favorite, Don Russ 90 cards was him and Kruk, and it was like Dr. Dirt and Mr. Clean. Or no, it was him and Darren Dalton, maybe.
Shaw flips that one the other way, and Hudson not stopping on his way to 3rd. Do you still have baseball cards?
Back at my parents' house in Atlanta. Oh yeah, absolutely. I haven't actually shown them to my kids yet, but that's coming. That's definitely coming.
This kid's coming quickly too. Shaw, right?
No doubt. I mean, he could be a really quick mover. Already has been. Finished the year in AA last year after being our first pick in the 2023 draft out of Maryland. But just a great feel for the bat head, and can play multiple defensive positions, and has a chance to fit into our lineup really well. Sooner than later. Still got some work to do. Probably will start the year in AA, so it's not like he's has a chance to make the team out of camp, but someone we're really excited about.
How about this guy at the plate, Bretta Davis? I mean, we're pretty excited about him a year or two ago. Just hadn't been able to stay healthy.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty around Brendan because he hasn't played. But the path that he was on before some of the health issues was a pretty darn good one, and we're looking to get him back on track real fast.
Cubs lead at 8-1. Carter Hawkins, Cubs general manager, joining us here in the booth. John Shambi, Jim DeShays, Taylor McGregor. We are back. And the Cubs spring training off to a fast start. There are the numbers for Brendan Davis. And I mean, really the focal point injury-wise last couple years has been the back, but is that one in the dirt, gets away.
Boog, do you have baseball cards?
I do, actually.
So sneakers and baseball cards.
I have not a lot of them, but my father scarred me because he told me about his mom throwing out all these
in the bicycle spokes or something.
Well, all these Mickey Mantle rookie cards and that type of thing. That's right.
Like, oh God.
So my mom was kind enough to let me hang on to them, and I actually one night took a bunch of them over to Ryan Dempster's house, and we basically unboxed my old cards.
Cool.
And I had a Walter Payton rookie card, and I haven't gotten it graded, but I think we both thought it was probably like an 8 or a 9.
Right. Okay.
So that was pretty neat.
That is awesome.
And that one upstairs, ball 4.
I feel like JD might be the type of guy that's like, no, I don't have baseball cards, but he also has like a T206 somewhere in a drawer. It's just like that one big one.
No, I collected as a kid. I had no real sense of them having any real value, monetary value. It was more just the baseball fan in me. But I remember I bought this catalog, Harriet Carter. Does that ring a bell to anybody out there? But it's a catalog, and we ordered these plastic lockers, and had each team, so you could slot the Braves went here, the Cubs went here.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was like that. You graduated from the shoebox into the locker. All the doubles went into the shoebox, and they were for trading, or flipping, or putting in your spokes.
David Bodie getting a chance here as he takes over for Morel in the order, and will take over for him at third base. How do you see the Central Division right now? Because obviously the Brewers traded away their top starter in Corbin Burns. The Cardinals have made some moves. How do you assess the rest of the division?
Yes, it's there for the taking, right? I mean, there's going to be some competitive teams there, but we're right in that mix, and hopefully come out on top in the end. But yeah, to your point, there's no clear front runner. I think the external projections would say that as well, and we feel really good about the group that we have and our ability to compete and win the division. But yeah, I mean, that's why you play the 162, right?
The little lefty Luna delivers, and Bodie takes inside. Cubs got 6 in the first, sent 10 to the plate. Morel with a 2-run homer, and they lead this one 8-1. Joe Hudson has knocked in 5 as Bodie fouls one back. When you look at this pitching staff, how much do you focus on depth as being the critical part of this team succeeding, as opposed to who the peak performers are?
I mean, obviously they dovetail. I mean, they're both important. Depth is only as important as when you need it, but you're going to need it, and the more we have it, the better chance we have of not dropping off.
Is there anything new on Cody Bellinger since we started the interview?
I'm sorry, I think we're going to a break.
Wow, you're learning television. I don't like that. Carter Hawkins, thank you so much.
Thanks, Toby.
All right, you got it. Pete Crow Armstrong hustling around the bases. Cubs on top 8-1.
Hey, welcome back. It's 8-1 Cubs over the White Sox. Day is done for Christopher Morel as he's gathered up his equipment. He's heading back towards the clubhouse. David Bodie stands in for him over at third base. Christopher Morel today got his spring off to a great start, did he not? First time up, pumps one out onto the berm, and a couple nice plays over there at third base as well. So something we're going to keep an eye on all spring long. Christopher Morel getting this opportunity to lock down that third base job.
Ground ball to the right side. Braden Shoemaker. First pitch swinging.
Jose Cuas has entered the fray for the Cubs.
Indeed.
Between Kansas City and Chicago last year, a busy man. He worked 72 times and posted a .399 ERA. 3.04 was his earned run average in a Cub uniform.
Yeah, I'm not even entirely certain. You know, when the Cubs got him, they were just starting to get beat up down there in the pen, and I don't know when they acquired him that the vision was that he would even necessarily stay at the big league level the whole time, but they needed him. And again, a guy with a unique arm angle, and that slider was erratic for sure, but when it was on, it could be pretty nasty.
Well, you see that delivery and you immediately think, well, that's going to be really nasty against right-handed hitters, but lefties could be a problem, and statistically that really wasn't the case. Left-handed batters hit only .211 against them last year. Kind of has that Pedro Strop thing going on with the crooked hat. Started his professional career as an infielder. Stayed there for 3 years before transitioning to the mound.
He was an infielder, I believe, what, University of Maryland?
Shaw.
Terp, yep.
Terps.
The ground is short.
Oof.
Safe at first. And Colas getting down the line. Jefferson Rojas over there. It's taking a little too much time.
Yeah, Jefferson Rojas just learned a lesson. Come and get that ball. He started and then retreated to get the convenient hop, but in so doing, he bought time for Colas to beat the play at first.
A little over 13,000 here today, taking in the Cubs' first spring game. Yeah, that right through there to Zach Remillard. Cross fires and a swing and a miss.
Did you say crossfires or crossfires?
Crossfires.
Because either one would be appropriate.
Yes.
Saturday, April 6th, the Cubs take on the Dodgers. That's that team from California. First pitch 3:05. First 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a replica sweater inspired by Hall of Famer Pat Hughes. Oh. My. Cubs.com/tickets.
Get me that. Danny Mendick hitting here.
And if you are one of those 10,000 and lucky enough to get that sweater, slap that baby on. I want to see 10,000 of those in the ballpark.
That's exactly right. What's the closest version of that sweater that Pat has?
He may have that sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might not have that. He might not have the Cub logo on.
Right. Said the shortstop, by the way, was Rojas. It's actually Pablo Aliendo.
Oh, yeah. Pat will be here with us on Marquee on March 9th. Can't promise you he'll be wearing a knockoff Coogie sweater, though.
Two, and Mendick fouls it back. T-Mac, what do you got?
My vote on the day of that giveaway is we all go full Pat Hughes, the full outfit, all of us.
And
I will participate. Would absolutely be willing to participate.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Fouled off
of course,
the plate.
We'll have 6 layers over the top of it anyway, so nobody will be able to see it.
Swing and a miss. Mendick down on strikes. And that's that. Good job by Jose Cuas.
This
Chicago Cubs baseball on Marquee Sports Network is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Advocate Healthcare. Let's live well and make the most of every moment, game day, and every day. And by the Bob Locurcio Auto Group. You're going to like buying a car this way. Back here in Mesa, and Frazier Ellard is the new pitcher. Having some pitch comm issues. I believe a new pitch comm is about to be delivered. Jim Wolf observing, evaluating, judging. And it looks like we're pitch comm ready. The numbers in the minors last year for Frazier Ellard: 21 1/3, a 7.17 ERA. Strikeout 30. And fires a strike into Owen Casey. It's another guy, Owen Casey, just 21 years old, native of Canada, finished last year. Played the whole season at AA, hit .289, slugged over .500, 22 homers. And another of the Cubs' top 100 prospects.
Yeah, according to MLB Pipeline, Casey is the 47th best prospect in Major League Baseball.
When I've seen his swing, there are times when it reminds me a bit of Sean Casey.
Are you sure it's not just because his name is Casey?
I swear it.
Okay.
(3-2) and a good eye right there.
That big, strong kid with a world of potential. So I'm working with the Tennessee Smokies last year, doing a lot of damage. Over from the Padres and the Yu Darvish deal.
I just love, I mean, I would say if you took as a percentage Cubs prospects being gingers, it's incredible. Like PCA, if he goes back to his, his natural, he's a redhead. Triantos.
In terms of ceilings, this kid may have the highest ceiling of them all.
No doubt.
Kevin Alcantara is a specimen, all kinds of power. Just a kid, very young. 6'6", $190, and he's going to get stronger.
Yeah, he's the closest to the ceiling too at 6'6". Fouled off his foot.
Long and strong, and has tremendous lift in his swing. Great bat speed. I mean, there's some swing and miss in there that he's going to have to clean up. But potential at all kinds of home runs. A very good defender too.
You think about how tough 21 was to watch guys who were crucial parts of that 2016 World Championship being shipped off, and yet it's how Jed Hoyer's rebuilt this farm system in part. Pete Crow Armstrong came for Javi Baez. Alcantara came for Rizzo. Killian coming along with Canario
for KB. Yeah.
So on the ground is short. They get one there, and they turn it. 6-4-3, and there's 2 down. And I think, if you were looking for, a free agent signing still to come aside, how does this team outperform expectations? I think that at least part of it is with one or some of these young Cubs delivering, a 2.5 wins above replacement season or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think just about every championship team, you look back and, boy, we didn't anticipate this production from this player. Or, the other piece of it too. So you talk about it, young kids coming up and helping. Can you get a full season of what we saw from Suzuki in the second half last year? Can you get a full season of Jameson Taillon that we saw from JMO in the second half last year? Those obviously would help improve the situation greatly. And it might be a season where 86 wins is enough to win this division.
Chase Strumpf here. Yeah, Carter Hawkins talking about the Central kind of there for the taking, right? Foul ball at the plate.
We've seen Chase Strumpf now. This is the third spring we've seen him. Split time last year between AA and AAA. He's got power. Doesn't hit for a bunch of average, but I'll take his walks. Lifetime .370 on base percentage in the minor leagues.
It's to center field, and that one caught by Phillips, and that's the inning. On to the 7th, 8-1.
Go Cubs go, go Cubs go. Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
Well, what a moment that was, Miguel. We just ran when you were singing Go Cubs Go when you first made your major league debut. After the season, when you were able to reflect on the year that you had, what stood out?
Well, it was a big year for me. Coming up to the bigs means a lot for me. Had a lot of experience sharing with all these guys, and work hard in the off season, prepare myself mentally and physically, and just be ready for these 24.
What were the biggest things that you wanted to focus on this offseason?
Especially the strength of my body, hitting, and just keep maintaining my defense work. That's the main key for me to help my pitchers, and that's pretty all.
During the offseason, are there any conversations with Jan or guys amongst the pitching staff to be able to grow as a game caller?
Well, we stay in touch every other week, like talking a little bit how was ourselves and how was the offseason going. But, we were everybody in their offseason, so trying not bother anybody, just getting ready and just happy to be here and excited to be sharing the field with these guys.
What was it like going home after making your Major League debut?
Well, it was so special, go back home with my friends, my families. They were so happy for me too, and have a quality time with them was a nice moment.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for the time. Appreciate it. Boog, we'll send it to you.
All right, guys. Nice grab out there. Alcantara able to track that one down. A blast off the bat of Tim Elko. A fly out. Tom Pannone is the new pitcher. Lefty who hails from Cranston, Rhode Island.
So Alcantara pretty shallow to begin with, but he gets a good break on this ball, finds the wall, finds the ball, and that's not easy to do out here in the desert in that high sky. Well done, young fella.
Zach DeLoach here. Mentioning Pannone, he was originally drafted by the Cubs as a position player, but didn't sign. And has made his way to the majors as a pitcher and getting an opportunity here.
Originally signed with the Guardians. Big league debut came with the Jays in 2018. Last year was in Korea.
Aliendo on the backhand and throws out DeLoach. Yeah, I was talking to him. He played for the Kia Tigers. He was over there for a couple of seasons. He actually played against Mike Tauchman over there. And even though he grew up, Rhode Island typically is Red Sox country,
yeah,
but he grew up a Yankee fan. It's Brett Phillips now. Cubs use 6 runs in the first and lead it 8-1. Morel a 2-run homer in that first inning. Joe Hudson, Craig Counsell plugging him into the DH spot, and Hudson a non-roster invitee. He's a catcher, and he's knocked in 5 today. Pannone on here. Wicks started it. Gave up the homer to Elko, but overall looked pretty good.
Yeah. Yep, threw the ball well. Killian was really impressive today.
Big time. 6 up, 6 down. And a strikeout for Pannone. And he gets everybody that he faces.
And we could not let this day pass without honoring the life of Tom Hellman. Tom, also known as Otis, was a fixture in the Cubs organization for 41 years, most recently serving as the Cubs clubhouse manager. And when you talk to the players about who Otis was, they say he was the Cubs. This is a guy who had been with the organization for longer than most of the players have even been alive. And he had so many fun stories to share. He always wanted to give back to everybody in the clubhouse. And unfortunately, he passed away less than a month ago. Today, there was a moment of silence for him, and then players were wearing these shirts that said Otis, and on the back, forever a Cub. We loved having Otis around. We will miss him, and we send our condolences to friends and family members who loved him like we did. And Boog, JD, I know you guys got to know him as well, and you just can't say enough good things about who Otis was as a person and how big of a loss this is for the Cubs.
Yeah, I first got to know Otis. First came to the National League with the Astros back in 1986. He was working the visiting side, and you know, there was just so much positive energy coming from Otis. I always look forward to seeing him every day at the ballpark. Just sad, tragic story. I mean, just brutal how things went down. This was, you know, he was retiring. This was going to be, he was going to work this spring and then be done. And, you know, life just threw him a nasty curveball, and he will be missed and beloved by not just Cub people, everybody around the league. You know, when you came into the visiting clubhouse with Otis as a player back in the day, he was, you know, it was always chirping and just having a big time. Will be greatly missed.
Ian Happ putting out a tweet tribute to Otis, saying after each win at Wrigley, he'd be waiting at the entrance of the locker room to high-five every player, every coach. He was a legend of the game and will be deeply missed. I think the thing I think of when I think of Otis is just the kindness, and a guy that just had like a gentle, kind heart, and I would say that he impacted, you know, not just the players but the other guys in the clubhouse staff, and I would say that they've carried that legacy on. That group of guys down there, I'm sure Otis is proud of just how, you know, they bring it to the ballpark every day in terms of being kind and you know, handling their business properly.
Yeah, Otis got his start in baseball when he was in high school back in Cincinnati in 1974, working as a bat boy for the Reds. In his first game, opening day of the '74 season, the Reds Braves. He's down the left field line serving as the ball boy. So he's warming up Pete Rose in one half inning and Henry Aaron in the next half inning.
Come on. And that one in there, and Bryce Wyndham is down on strikes.
Bryce thought this ball was high. I think Bryce probably has a legitimate point. He caught the top of the zone.
JD. Here's number 89. This is like, what was that show, To Tell the Truth?
Will the real 89 please stand up?
And it's Jefferson Rojas. That's really who it is. Can confirm.
Yeah, it is.
Johan Dominguez delivers. Rojas hits it on the ground. And there's two down. Good start to the Cactus League season for the Cubs, as they got 6 in the first and lead it here in the bottom of the 7th.
Jefferson Rojas, who just grounded out, is 18 years old, Boo.
JD, you know who's up right now?
The other 89?
Pablo Aliendo. The other 89.
Say it every spring, like spring training is different things to different players, right? The veteran guys that are here just trying to get ready to play a championship season, But for these kids to come over from the minor league side and get an at-bat in a big league game with a big crowd like this, I mean, this is a moment for these guys.
2 balls and a strike on Aliendo. Cubs have out hit the White Sox 9-3, lead at 8-1. To see Matt Shaw pick up a hit, RBI double in that 6-run first inning, and Christopher Morel with that big 2-run homer. Three and 2. Here comes hammered but foul. We'll be on the air again tomorrow, only we'll be coming to you from Scottsdale. As the Cubs will take on the Giants.
Yeah, road trip. Need a ride?
Sure. Swing and a miss. Aliendo is down on strikes, and the Cubs go in order. Otis, we miss you, buddy.
It's spring training every year is the annual Advocate Children's Hospital visit from patients, and you're looking in right here at the 3 patients who were surprised with the trip of a lifetime. You can see Bria Schmidt there on the right, Jonathan Slota on the left, and then in the middle is Ian Slager. Them and their families are spending 3 days in Mesa as VIPs of the Cubs, and I will tell you what, it has been a trip of a lifetime, no doubt about it. Yesterday they got all access here at Sloan Park. They met players, watched them stretch, even got a workout at the Performance Center themselves, and took part in some drills, got some autographs, and then played a little bit of wiffle ball later on. You can see the smiles on their faces, but also the players as well. I think this is special for everybody involved. I was able to check in with Dr. Shannon Staley, a pediatric emergency physician from Advocate Children's Hospital, before the game here today. Thank you, Dr. Staley, for joining us. Why is this trip a part of the healing process for these kids?
You know, the kids, they go through so much in the hospital, operations, ICU stays, and I think it takes a real toll mentally and emotionally on both them and their families. And so getting a chance to just come to sunny Arizona, relax, have some fun. They're all huge Cubs fans, and so it really helps them heal and kind of deal with all the stress and trauma of their illnesses.
And how long has Advocate been doing this trip?
This is our 6th year partnering with Chicago Cubs to bring Advocate All-Stars here to Arizona spring training.
Something we look forward to every year. Thanks for the time. So there you go, Boog. Quite a trip that these patients are able to enjoy and help take their mind off of the hardness that they're going through right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And obviously a fun time and a chance to interact with players and get a chance to be in the middle of spring training. Bailey Horn is on the hill now for the Cubs. We're in the 8th with 1 out of the bases empty, and the Cubs leading the White Sox 8-1. Edgar Caro is up here.
Bailey Horn, left-handers in the game for the Cubs. And split time last year between AA and AAA. Not be surprised to see him spend some time with the big league club this year.
Sure.
He was originally a White Sox farmhand. The Cubs acquired him in a deal for Ryan Tepera in 2021.
Horn at 26 years old, pitched his college ball at Auburn. Was born in Waco, Texas. It's another
one of your stops.
That is
along the Big 12 highway.
That's right. I'll be there next weekend in Waco.
It's supposed to be a really good barbecue place there in Waco.
I mean, you're just making that up.
It's Texas.
Joanna and Chip Gaines have kind of taken over that town.
Yeah.
And it's good. The Magnolia down there. More and more good restaurants. Breaking ball in there. Ate them up. Edgar Cuero down on strikes. Bailey Horn a strikeout.
Yeah, 2 up, 2 down there for Bailey Horn. Breaking ball settles into the top of the zone over the inside corner. Maybe you could get JoJo to design something for your condo. A kitchen table or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's the name of their show?
I think that's. I'm going to need some help there. Home Improvement? Fixer Upper. That's right.
Yeah, Home Improvement. That's the one. Oh, my.
In there. Got him. Nasty breaking ball from Bailey Horn. No fixer upper there. 8-1. Cubs baseball on Marquee Sports Network is brought to you by your local Hyundai dealer. Find a dealer nearest you at buyhyundai.com. By Wintrust, proud legacy partner of the Chicago Cubs and exclusive home of Cubs checking. And by Prevagen. Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist recommended memory support brand. Beautiful day. What could be better than hanging out under the party tent, the Sloan party tent out there? Yeah. And here at Sloan Park, folks, gearing up for the game. It's been fun. Hayden McGeary takes a breaking ball for a strike from Connor McCullough.
McCullough has not yet pitched above A ball. So the 4.29 ERA last year in 23 minor league games. Hayden McGeary, big, strong, powerful kid.
Hit hard to short, and there is one down. And so McCullough is from Arkansas but went to college at Kansas State. Taylor McGregor, that sounds sort of familiar. Why is that?
Yeah, it sounds like a guy who's standing right in front of me by the name of Jordan Wicks. So Wicks started this game, if you in case forgot, and usually after a guy gets pulled early on in the game, he'll go to his workout. He has stayed in the dugout because he wanted to watch his childhood friend pitch. They grew up in Arkansas. They've known each other since they were 6 years old. The name of their Little League team, by the way, the Dairy Queen Crushers. So nothing says Little Rock like, or I mean Little League like a name like that. Have been best friends their entire life. McCullough actually started his collegiate career at Arkansas, but after a semester decided he wanted to go elsewhere, and Wicks went into his coach's office and said, listen, I know I'm not really a recruiter and I know I'm not really a scout, but I'm telling you, you guys should believe in this kid. And they eventually listened to him. He transferred into Kansas State. They were teammates there. And this is pretty cool for him to be able to watch on the other side as he pitches here today.
Line drive to right field. And caught as Davis retired. There's no truth to the story that Connor McCullough was at Arkansas, ran into the girl on the picture graphically right there at the University of Arkansas. It was like, I'm out of here. I'm going.
Well, that could definitely not happen because I'm like 50 years older than him. So.
Right. There she is. There's the picture. We should just keep that up. We should just keep that up the entire game. By the way, JD, I love that Jordan Wicks is still in the dugout to watch his buddy pitch, his buddy on the other team.
And
that's baseball. That's awesome.
It's okay to root for your buddy here, too.
Really cool.
You guys also did not comment on the Dairy Queen crushers.
Oh, my gosh. There was a lot to that. I was about to comment on, I could crush some Dairy Queen, that's for sure.
So good.
We all want to crush Dairy Queen. That is.
Yeah, I would like to think that when the team won, they got to go to the Dairy Queen and get hooked up with some a free Blizzard or something.
Absolutely. I mean, anybody with a body like mine is sort of an honorary Dairy Queen crusher, right? The pitch to Bodie. And that's a strike, says Jim Wolf and his biceps.
Speaking of crusher.
Crusher. There he is. Bodie down on strikes, and McCullough gets the punch out. His buddy Jordan Wicks looking on.
This
Baseball on Marquee Sports Network is brought to you by UI Health, changing medicine for good. By Toyota, official vehicle of the Chicago Cubs. And by Northwestern Medicine. When it comes to your health, a second opinion is always a good idea. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine.
Hey, Cub fans, go to MarqueeSportsNetwork.com for the latest Cubs news and in-depth feature stories. Presented by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide insurance agent. Visit JeffVuk.com. Nationwide is on your side.
Porter Hodge delivers up and away to Oscar Colas. The numbers on Hodge at Double-A last year.
Little slider or cutter there at 93 miles per hour. 23 years old, 6'4", 230. Big sturdy right-hander.
Foul tipped into the mid of Bryce Wyndham. 2-2 now. And Hodge missing outside. Do you have any specific memories of spring training game ones, or just of getting it started? Strike out there as Hodge is able to get Colas.
I don't, Boog.
Okay.
I mean, I could make something up.
Yeah, you could.
But I don't recall any. You know, I guess I will say this. There was always a level of excitement, right? In spring training, you run through cycles. Like when you first get there, it's very exciting. You're seeing everybody for the first time, you know, since the off season, and you're excited to be there. Then you kind of pitchers and catchers report. Then you work out for a few days, and that starts to get a little tedious. Then the position players show up, and you get another little boost of energy, and the nature of the workouts change a little bit. And then after a few days of that, it's like, okay, we need to play. And then game one comes, and you're like, all right, here we go. And after a couple weeks of that, even, you're like, yeah, let's get the regular season rolling. But it's always exciting just to be back competing again.
That one down and in. Yeah, it's 3-1 on Zach Remillard.
It was a pretty good situation for a starting pitcher back in the day, because usually if you weren't scheduled to pitch, you would just go down to the dugout and you'd sit and watch a couple innings and then leave, and then a lot of times you'd head to the golf course. whatever.
Porter Hodge pumps in a 3-1 strike, and now the count is full. And the payoff pitch is fouled back. Cubs have not walked anyone in this game.
They've only given up 3 hits. Only damaged that solo home run. The pitching has been outstanding here.
Hodge. And a line drive and a base hit out into left field over Jefferson Rojas. JD, let's take a look at the Steinhafels' upcoming schedule.
Let's do.
We're going to be on the air tomorrow, and it'll be the Cubs and the Giants. And again on Sunday, back here at Sloan, Cubs and the Padres. That's what's coming up this weekend. And look at the rest through spring training. I'm interested to see when Shota Imanaga makes his spring debut. Got a chance to watch him throw a live BP the other day.
Drew Smiley, I believe, will start the game tomorrow for
Correct.
the Cubs, and Javier Assad on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, so at least these earliest of games, not seeing Tyone or Hendricks or Imanaga or Steele. I like the way the ball comes out of his hand. His fastball looks like it's got real good carry on it. That was a cutter at 93. So he starts there with a split finger grip. One of the new rule changes in Major League Baseball this year is they'll go to an 18-second clock even with a man on base. If you remember last year, it was 18 seconds with nobody on, 20 seconds to deliver the pitch with a man on base. But that has changed.
What's your thought?
I'm all for it. As the season wore on, the game started to get a little bit longer, and I think that's what drove that decision.
Yep.
Early in the season, we marveled at how quickly the games were being played, and overall the time of game was down. But later in the year, it started to creep up a little bit, so they decided to implement this rule change.
Budweiser broadcast booth. This Bud's for you. I like it. I've heard a couple of people say some not so nice things about that. That do we really need to do that? Do we really need to make it faster in that spot? Still, look, going into the rules changes last year, I'm of the opinion these are the best players in the world. Part of the reason they're the best players in the world is because they adjust, and they will adjust.
And the pitcher will still have the ability to step off the rubber and reset the clock.
To second for one, on to first, and a double play, and that'll do it. Cubs win it, 8-1. Sing the song. Good start to the spring. Christopher Morel, a 2-run homer. Cubs score 6 times.
That's
in
really
the bottom of the first.
Remarkable to use that many pitchers and all of them to pitch so effectively. Usually somebody goes out there and lays an egg.